Hey there, it is the 28th of September and I am at the Lake Sammamish State Park again. Not for a pick today. I'm here to watch my daughter run in a race, and while I'm waiting for her race to come up, I am just kind of exploring the area around where I picked this summer and the creek to see, is there garbage, is there not? The leaves are starting to fall off. I can start to see some areas where I couldn't get into because the leaves are too thick earlier, but I'll get that sometime in the winter once everything's down. And when I say winter around here, it doesn't snow so much as, it just gets wet. So you can pretty much pick all year round if you can deal with the rain, which we've had to do the last few weeks. So, yeah, I was looking for some salmon because it's salmon days weekend coming up this weekend, actually, here in Issaquah. And I was looking in the creek for salmon, and I don't see any. Which either means they've already swum past the mouth of the creek and they're up by the hatchery already, or the water's not come up enough. I'd heard some rumors that fish were coming. As soon as the rains hit and the water cools down, they like to swim upstream. We've had some rain, but I don't see anything out here. And or it means it's a really light run this year, which would be really bad. This would be my fear, that it's just too hot of a summer and everything died off. We'll see. Usually by the time Salmon Days rolls around, you can go up to one of the bridges here in town and just look at them down below, and everybody's just fascinated by them. That's why we hold it this weekend. But if there's nothing in the mouth of the creek, I'm a little worried. So pretty calm out here today. Way over there in the distance, you can see where the racers are getting ready to go. We'll be running the next half hour here, probably. And over here, back out of my favorite pickup spot, way underneath that tree is one of those party areas that I got into this summer. I do see that it's still possible to get across there on the other side. So maybe this weekend I'll go and do a final pick out there before the water comes up. If it's not too bad. I do have some other plans though. You can see the water is a little, well, it's hard to tell if it's a little higher or not. It looks a little higher. We did get some rain over the last couple weeks, and the channel looks just a little bit deeper here. So if there's fish coming in, they're gonna be coming in right through here. And sometimes I'll sit right here at the entrance and just wait for the real big water to come so they can get over the obstacles a little easier. But I'm not seeing a single one here. Of course, the eagles are probably looking around for them too. Usually 5 or 6 eagles hanging out in this corner waiting. Lots of ducks. So. It's nice and quiet out here. Just sound me talking and road noise in the distance from I-90, but not too much garbage. There was a pickup out here sponsored by a local company on last Saturday, actually. I ran into them. I was here again for another race, and they had people picking up all over the park. So maybe they got most of it. They might not know the secret hiding spots, like I can see a can right in there. But I'll get that another time. I don't have anything to haul it with me today. Didn't want to embarrass my daughter by hauling around a bucket and a claw and then going up and hugging her. So anyways, an update on all things Trash Mob, or the lots of things going on Trash Mob wise. So I have been a little quiet on posting here. Had a funny pick back in my neighborhood a week ago, just over a week ago. Was cleaning up just along one of the streets I normally do. I had recorded an intro and was going to record another one, but I was left speechless by, well, I'll start from the beginning here. So I had picked this one area by a bus stop and went down the street a little further, turned around, emptied my bucket in the garbage can, came back to the area, and there's more trash on the ground. And it was these plastic cases that they security cases from stores. There was 2 on the ground. I'm like, where did this come from? Did I miss them the first time around? I'm standing there going, well, what do I do with these? Okay, I'll just put them in my bucket. Well, as I'm picking the first one up, I hear a crinkle in the background. And there's the guy sitting in the bus shelter who is dismantling another one of these security boxes and taking whatever's in it. And I just kind of stood there dumbfounded. He gets up, he looks at me, and he puts the plastic case in my bucket. And I kind of looked at him dumbfounded, and he said, "Won't fit in the garbage can." So I didn't know what to do at that point. Wasn't gonna call the cops on a shoplifter at that point. I was out in the middle of the street, or along the street. I hauled it away. It was one of those that just never expected that to happen. So yeah, you run into all kinds out there. I wasn't gonna mess with him either. You didn't know what his attitude was towards people bothering him, so he got on the next bus and rode off. What do you do? So that was the one pick last week. And then on Saturday afternoon, I went out with a couple of people from my community. Somebody who's been helping me out a lot on the site with she's been doing all the graphics work. So yay, her name's Sarah. She's been doing awesome. And her husband came out with us, and he is a master photographer, and he's got all the gear and the drones and everything. So he did a bunch of shots that we're going to use a little later on when we do a professional video for Trash Mob, or promotional video. So we'll be doing that. Didn't feel like taking video while somebody else was videoing me. That's kind of meta, so I skipped it that day, and we'll just say that we got the shots from that day. Hopefully this video will make up for it. So that's what's been going on picking wise. Even though I haven't been talking about it a lot, I have been out picking and doing stuff. Now the rest of my time has actually been spent doing a lot of stuff for the website and for the org. So I debated a long time whether or not TrashMob.eco was going to become a nonprofit. I didn't know if I was ready for that level of commitment with the organization, how it was going to last. Was I just going to spin up the website and go from there? Well, I've had a lot of meetings over the last 3 or 4 weeks with various city officials and state officials, including my 2 state reps here, talking about what I envisioned for this project and some of the hurdles that I've been running into. And honestly, the hardest thing to get past right now is bureaucracy. There are rules about what you can, where you can pick, and insurance liabilities and waivers and things like that all have to be filled out depending on whether you're picking on a city property, a county property, a state property. You have to get the right waivers. And honestly, that's really frustrating for me. We may have come up with a way around that for the organization, but it really requires me to incorporate as a nonprofit and to carry insurance for the people who go out and pick. And then basically the city becomes a reinsurer. We sign agreements with cities. It will make it a lot easier for people setting up events after the agreement has been reached with the proper jurisdictions, but it is going to require a little more overhead and a lot more planning on my part to run these. So my time had shifted from working on the website to working on the organization, trying to recruit a board of directors. That is the hardest part of starting up a nonprofit, as I've seen so far. All the paperwork that follows, that's a different matter. I'm sure I will regret saying that recruiting is the hardest part, but finding people who are passionate about cleaning up the planet, and that's what we're trying to do here. This is not just a little clean up your neighborhood thing. The long-term goal is to clean up the planet and to change the mindset about keeping a clean planet. So I'm looking for people to be on the board of directors who are passionate, who have the time and the money to participate actively in the board and to help set it up, and the expertise. If they've got financial or / accounting expertise, legal, we'll need some of that, fundraising, all the things that go into starting a nonprofit. I'm looking for somewhere between 5 to 7 board members, myself included, assuming I don't get voted off the board. So that's what I've been working on. In the meantime, I work at Microsoft. I don't know if anybody knew that, but Microsoft has an annual thing called the hackathon, and it's coming up in October. And I put TrashMob up there as a hack project because we're not done. We have a lot of work left to do on the technical side to get things done, and then for promotions and stuff like that. So what we're doing for the hackathon, we're going to do a couple of projects. One is to finish the website, and the other thing is we're going to build a mobile app to make it even easier to find out about upcoming events in your neighborhood, in your area, wherever you want to participate. So hopefully coming out of this hackathon by mid-month, that we'll have the framework for a mobile app, and people can start downloading it to their phone, and it'll make it a lot easier to sign up and participate in events. So coordinating that, starting up the nonprofit, trying to get some picks in, because I really do enjoy picking. It's very, very rewarding, makes me feel good. That's part of our motto, feel good. And I'm making a lot of great connections. So with all that in mind, it's been pretty busy, and I haven't had a lot of time to make videos or edit videos, but they're coming. As we grow, this will become a more frequent thing, hopefully. Lots and lots to do over the next 6 months to a year to get this thing off the ground and really get it going. But I can see a path forward for it right now, and that makes me believe that if I can find those passionate people, that we can really do something. There are cities just demanding stuff like this. Every city leader that I talk to says this is awesome, as long as we can get around the bureaucracy. So with that in mind, I'll make a short appeal. If you know somebody who's really passionate about the environment, if you yourself are really passionate about the environment and bring some of those skills that I'm looking for, feel free to contact me. Even if it's a volunteer not on the board, but to help set things up and get things going. If you've got experience with putting a board together and you want to contribute that and make life easier for me, appreciate it so much. So that's where we're at. I would anticipate that it's going to consume me for the rest of this calendar year at least, while launching the mobile app and things like that. But once I start finding one or two, then I can start distributing a little bit of the work, and hopefully a lot of the technical work will be done through the hackathon, and we'll be able to, I can kind of put that aside. Not that there's not always more stuff to do, but at least it won't be blocking us from launching. So we're hoping for a full production launch of the site in late October, which is kind of odd for this area because late October is the worst time of year to start picking trash, because that's when the rains really start coming down. But the rest of the world works on a different calendar, and that just happens to be when we get it done. So that's where we're at. That's what I'm working on. Feel free to comment, like below, subscribe. Please let me know if somebody's watching these, and again, let me know if you have any interest in participating in this. We've got a lot of big things coming in the future. We're gonna have a lot of announcements. Hopefully I haven't blown all these announcements right here, but I think it's gonna be big, and it's gonna be good. So would love to hear from you. Like, subscribe, send me a message. Have a great day.